Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Mama Genius Hub podcast. I'm so excited that you are here. And oh my God, this is the one for you. Because if you've started the business, shuffled the receipts, and stressed over the spreadsheets, I know I've been there, still there right now. You started because you had a vision of freedom, flexibility, and something that lights you up. Here's the big but. Somewhere along the way, the numbers took over. The receipts stacked up. The taxes loomed. And instead of feeling in control, you felt buried. That is why René Barlow is here, because she flipped the script. Instead of hoping the numbers work out, she helps moms start with the vision, decide what matters most, how much you want to pay yourself, and then build a bookkeeping system that makes it possible. If you've been stuck in survival mode, this is the conversation will help you move into clarity, confidence, with money as a tool, not a stressor. Mamas, welcome to the Mama Geniuspreneur podcast, where real stories spark real transformations for moms ready to bring their visions to life. I'm Michelle DeKaiser, a mom of three, entrepreneur, and your biggest cheerleader if you've ever felt pulled to create something bigger, whether it's a business, a book, or a movement, but also felt the weight of daily life slowing you down. You are not alone. In just 15 minutes, we'll dive into insights, strategies, and real stories for women like you. Let's bring your visions to life, starting now. And René is a professional bookkeeper who helps women entrepreneurs gain confidence and clarity through their business finances. Through her customized services, workshops, she empowers mom to save time, reduce stress, and build thriving businesses. Her approach begins with vision first, then anchors in strong financial systems so women can finally feel in control of their money and their future. I can't wait for this episode. Welcome, René. I'm so excited that you are here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Michelle.
This is a subject I feel like that, like it's like the touch, right? Like you just feel the chills already of like as soon as money's involved and as soon as the word like the it all. So what I have to ask you is your why behind wanting to help women really figure this out.
That is a great question. I have always kind of had that entrepreneur spirit in a way in my life, and as I have done different things, I've found that other women also have the same desires, right? We have great skills. And so a lot of us start some kind of a business, and sometimes it's an accidental business, and we didn't realize that's what we were doing. And then they get stuck in the numbers and they just don't know what to do. And so they probably didn't go to business school. Right. And so I love to help. Right. But you have a business and you can grow it and we have great skills. So I relate to the moms and the mompreneurs who are starting businesses and doing that. And so by taking my skills and something I love to do that is easy for me, I can help moms to bring their vision and their goals to life, because a lot of the time they don't know this part, but you can, and then you can have a successful business, but you got to get some of these foundations in place to make it easier.
Okay, you said that word easy like 3 times. I was kind of counting and I was like, when it comes to money, sometimes I feel like it's just so overwhelmed. So I'm so glad that you're here. And that's why we're here about talking about our own geniuses so we can help support, because the entrepreneur world, literally, like I picture that story I read with my daughter of like the hats piling up and like walking around with all these hats on your head. But that's what we do as entrepreneurs, and the overwhelmingness. And so it's coming out and finding those that can help you with it. So I want to dive straight into, because you talk about, and it's everything that I talk about too, is vision first. It should come before your finances. So I want you to clarify, what does that even mean?
Yeah. So for me, especially as a mompreneur, my husband's income is what we live off of. So if your business is sort of that extra side business, that's awesome. If your business is the main business, then you really have to be clear on this, right? Because if you're supporting the whole family and your whole life, then you really need to be clear on these goals. If it's a side business, I have to balance a lot of the time my family and my like mother wife duties, and then building my business at the same time. And if I don't have them figured out of where I'm going to go, either my business, I spend all my time over there taking so much of that. And then you get like that mom guilt, right? Of like, oh no, I need to be doing the family things.
Never.
I'm doing all the family things and I'm neglecting the business. And so it doesn't grow and it doesn't provide money I need to do extra family things, right? So you have to have the vision of what does your business play in your life? What is the role it plays in your life?
And can you clarify just a little bit more about, I mean, you were stressing between like, mom and all of that, but like if you were to sit down and actually put that on the paper, what might that look like?
Mhm. I would start with, is it just a hobby? So it's something fun for you to do? Or does it really need to produce income for your family? And if so, how much? Because that makes a difference of how big your business is going to get and how you can grow. And that kind of goes into other parts, right? Like it has a whole nother system and a whole nother philosophy behind that. But if you only really need money for like piano lessons, maybe vacation, that's maybe a couple $100, a couple $1,000, maybe a month that you need. So your business can be a certain size, right? It doesn't have to be this gigantic thing. Or do you really need money that is bigger? And so your business needs to be bigger to support your family goals. Like what goals are you using your business for? So an example is in my life, my husband is a school teacher, which is awesome. And we love the lifestyle it creates, but it doesn't pay a lot as if he was a computer programmer, which is what he teaches. Yes, he teaches computer programming. He could go be a computer programmer, but he loves teaching. And we've chosen that as a lifestyle. So my business, for the most part, is supplementary to our income until we had to buy a car last year. Now I have a car payment that I haven't had in 9 years. So now it's a little more important, actually. And it's starting to pay for some of the necessities. And with inflation and all of those things, my business income that I'm paying myself is starting to become more important to our family finances. When I very first started, it really was sort of extras for piano lessons and swimming lessons and those kind of things. And now it's becoming more important. So I need to have systems in place so that I can pay myself. I know what to pay myself, but I also know how much my business has to earn so I can pay myself that money.
And we're gonna dive right into paying yourself first in just a minute. Are you a mompreneur who feels a fire to create something bigger, a business, a movement, a message, but you don't want to do it alone? That's why I've created the Mama Genius Hub, a space where your vision is nurtured, your voice is heard, and your dreams grow alongside a supportive community. Inside the hub, you'll get bite-sized insights and strategies in 15-minute sessions. A community of like-minded moms who truly get it. Support to bring your vision to life without burnout. If you're ready to build your business and impact while staying true to yourself, join us today at connectingmamas.com. Your calling matters. Let's grow it together. So you've already alluded to it. So the key really is to figure out how to pay yourself first. And like a lot of times entrepreneurs, it's like, never pay yourself. And so how do we fix that mindset and really dive into that new mindset?
Yeah, that I call it a goals first budget. People might have heard of the word like profit first, right? There's a book that's called that. That's very popular. And it's similar to that, but I've changed it just a little bit, right? Kind of put my spin on things. So I call it a goals first budget. And the very first part is figure out what you need to pay yourself. That is step number one, which means you have to go through your family finances and find out, okay, does my business only have to pay me $200 a month? Is it $500 a month, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000? Right? Like, I don't know what your finances, everyone's different, right? Is it a hobby little business or is it your main business? But step number one is to figure out what you need to pay yourself to make your family and personal goals happen. So after that, you can kind of like reverse how everyone does budgets. Normally, it's here's my income, here's my business expenses. Oh, maybe I better save a little for taxes. Oh, maybe I need to have a business savings. Do I have any for that? I don't know. Okay, now I can pay myself at the end, right? So this is not necessarily a budget tracking system, right? You're not going to track it this way, but it's a mindset issue, a CEO planning exercise to flip it completely backwards. And you figure out what you want to pay yourself. Based off of that, you can figure out like a starting place of what you would need to save for taxes. Then if you're going to save certain things in your business and like build a business savings account, you have that. Then you have your business expenses. And then you come up with what is your target revenue goal for your business. Now you know what you're shooting for. You know how much you have to earn every month because you planned with your goals first of how much you want to pay yourself. So it's not budgeting per se. It's an exercise, a business planning exercise.
Well, I love that so much in terms of the CEO mindset, because you're always just like this convoluted. Oh, I need to make some sort of number. And then especially the entrepreneur, like, oh, I need to make, it'd be great to make $1 million. But is that practical, or is that even what you need right now, especially as a mom and having your kids? And what really is your goal right now to really pinpoint that? Because we don't necessarily think we're just like this ambiguity. And then of course we're not bringing anything in because it's too ambiguous.
Right. Yes. So I did this exercise in May, and it was so powerful because I was trying to figure out how am I going to do summer, and with all my kids home, and my husband's a school teacher, he's home too, and still grow my business, right? It like changes the whole dynamic in the summer. It's awesome. We love it.
The kids.
Yes, because it's who's on parent duty, who gets to work, who gets to relax, you know, all those kind of things. It's awesome. We figured it out. We're getting better now. I mean, after 10 years, we figured it out a little. But I didn't know what I was going to do with my business. I was really panicked. And I did this exercise in May so that I could find out, well, where's my goals? Where do I want to set myself up for the fall and go backwards? So what does that mean for my business in the summer? Because I knew what my goal was and I could go backwards versus, okay, I'm going to work. Do I spend 80 hours a week working? No, not in the summer. Do I spend 40 hours? I don't know. Like, it helped me figure out my summer so that I could enjoy my summer. And it was awesome. We had lots of good family time, lots of camping trips, outside things, right? Like memories. And I also worked, and my business grew, and I had made my goals because I knew where I was going and I knew what the numbers were going to be. Not just I'm going to work for work's sake because I need to work so I can get money, but I don't know how much money and I don't know what the end is, right? It was like the focus, that vision was there, and then I could figure everything else out. I'm going to do it again here in another week for the end of the year, right? And be like, well, where do I want to be in January? What does that look like for the next quarter?
And so what are the 4 simple systems that every mompreneur needs for financial clarity?
Awesome. Okay, so this is now the actual like practical bookkeeping, right? We've talked vision, big picture, which you need to have. Now this is what you need to do, like the bookkeeping. So the very first one is some kind of bookkeeping system. Right? And actual, like, how are you going to track it? Right? The actual thing. So are you going to use a spreadsheet? Spreadsheets can work really great for certain sizes of business and certain people of how they work, right? So don't discount spreadsheets. But I really do love like Wave as a simple bookkeeping system, or QuickBooks is the most popular one. And there's some new ones coming on the scene called Xero and Zoho Books. And so that, but you got to have some way to track stuff. You got to update it somewhere so you can get a report, unless you want to write it in a notebook, which we don't want to do that. So find a system. It could be any of them. So that's number 1, is just have a system. Then number 2 is you need to figure out how you're going to organize your receipts, which we'll go into more detail at the very, very end. Then my 3rd one is tracking your miles. Most likely you're a work-at-home mom, like I am, and I work in my side of the bedroom here, right? That's why the screen is blurred. I'm in the side of my bedroom, and I just work at home. So if I go to any kind of education event, I can track those miles driving back and forth. But you need to figure out how you're going to track it. So I have a pink notebook in my car, and my kids know when they clean out the car, don't take out mom's notebook because that's what she writes in. Some people can use apps though. So you can even just Google mileage tracking apps. It will give you lots of ideas. You want to be able to have a way to track it so that you can run a business purpose, because it can give you a really good tax deduction. I was working with a client, and she had to drive about at least every week. She would drive like 50 miles at least every week, like one way. So 100 miles a week times 50 weeks. That's hundreds of miles. And the tax deduction was huge. And she's like, oh my gosh, why am I not tracking that? Right? So it can be really helpful. And you might not drive a lot, but still a couple $100. It's a good deduction. So that's number 3. And then number 4 is the routine. Set up a routine. And most people will say monthly is the best, right? And I agree with that. Monthly is the best. But if you're not going to do a monthly, aim for your quarterly or every other month. But you don't want to be doing it the end of December, January, February. Like we all know what that tax season stress is like because you've waited so long. You don't want to do that. So I even just created a way to support people doing, if they're doing your own bookkeeping, then I have a bookkeeping power hour where you log in once a month and we do it all together. It's like co-working, body doubling, that kind of space. And you can log in, you can ask some questions, you get it all updated. Our first one was last week. It was awesome. They loved it. So we're going to keep going.
I love that so much. And that's so helpful when you're like doing the things together and you set the time, because I know as women, sometimes we just plug it in and set the time and everything. Then we get it done.
Yes.
And so then what's our last tip, which is an easy, stressful way to save and track receipts?
Yes. Okay. So receipts, depending on what kind of business you have, you may have lots of paper ones, but my business as a bookkeeper is mostly online. However, I have gone to Walmart a few times and I've had to, buy copy paper or whatever, office supplies of some kind. So depending on what, you might have a lot of paper receipts that you're like sticking in a box or in a pile somewhere in the corner, that shoe box full of papers, or you might have a lot of emailed receipts. So for both of them, I do kind of the same thing. I create an online folder, and it's a subfolder, right, of like in my accounting folder, finance folder, and I call it 2025 receipts. And that's in my Google Drive folder. And then I create one in my email that I also call 2025 receipts. So anytime I get emailed a receipt, because that's how almost all of our businesses are, we have tons of emailed things, I take that email and put it in that folder so I can find it. I will also go through that folder and save those as a PDF into my Google Drive folder. So it's saved kind of in two places, because you never know what's going to happen to email. Most likely it will be there, but just in case, I'm a kind of cross my I's, dot my T's, extra safe person. So I will go through my email and save those as a PDF. But my online folder is in Google Drive. And so when I have a paper receipt, I take a picture on my phone and I share it with that Google Drive and I label it. And then it's in that folder. And then the paper receipt can get lost or faded because it's Walmart and they fade. But then it's saved right then just with a picture on my phone. I used to scan them because our phones couldn't do that, but now they can. So it's awesome. So
I love that so much. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, though. Tell everyone how they can get a hold of you.
You can go to my website. It's right there in front of you, barlowbookkeeping.com. And there is a freebie, my freebie on the website, that is 6 proven ways to conquer your pile of receipts. So it goes through what I just told you a little bit more in detail, gives you a way to label it and kind of organize it. And you can book a free consult call. I do setup and trainings for people, and I do ongoing bookkeeping. So wherever you're at, I can help you, whether you're at the beginning or you're ready to outsource. I can help you either way.
We're going to put you backstage for just a minute, give some wonderful takeaways today. Oh my gosh, so much first. But number one really is getting that vision first. What is your goals? What is the amount of money that you need to bring in first so that you can work backwards? And so it leads us into number 2 is really defining those goals. What are your business goals? What are your family goals? And listing them out so that you're not thinking, for me, it was always like, the ambiguousness of it. Then, like you said, in some are always working, when necessary, you don't need to. And number 3, of course, is pay yourself first. So having that goal first of paying yourself and then working backwards to where you need to put everything and planning like a CEO, where you can then go to pay, save taxes, build business savings, business expenses, and then the target revenue. So you're having all of that lined in. And that takes us to number 4, which is her tips in having some sort of bookkeeping, organizing your receipts, tracking your miles, and routinely, if you can, monthly, putting that all together and making sure that's updated, everything. And then number 5 was our big takeaway of how to keep track of the paper receipts, how to put the emails and everything so you have all your receipts for tax purposes. Thank you, Renee. What's your final takeaway for us today?
That you can do it, right? We have such wonderful gifts to share as moms and as women, and you can do it. And sometimes we have to gather the support, right? If that's not your genius, it's my genius or another bookkeeper's genius. And so find people to help you so you can bring your genius to life.
Oh, I love that so much. So keep that in mind as we get through the Mama Genius, because it's all about highlighting your genius and helping others find theirs as well. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye, everyone. That's a wrap for today's episode, Mama. I hope you found something in these 15 minutes that sparked action towards your dreams. Remember, your purpose matters, your dreams are valid, and you are not alone. If today's conversation spoke to you, come join us at the Mama Genius Hub, where you'll find support, strategy, and sisterhood to turn your calling into real impact. Let's grow this together at connectingmamas.com. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. If this resonates with you, share it with another mom here who needs to hear this. We'll see you next time.